On May 5, 1993, in the small town of West Memphis, Arkansas, three young boys, Stevie Branch, Christopher Byers, and Michael Moore, all just 8 years old, went missing after riding their bikes in the neighborhood. The next day, searchers made a horrifying discovery in a wooded area known as Robin Hood Hills. The boys' bodies were found submerged in a muddy creek. They had been stripped naked, bound hand to foot with shoelaces, and brutally beaten. One boy, Christopher Byers, had suffered especially horrific injuries, including mutilation. The crime scene was chaotic, bloody, and unlike anything the quiet community had ever seen. Panic spread. Rumors of satanic rituals and cult-like killings began almost immediately, fueled by the brutality of the murders. Police were under immense pressure to make an arrest. Soon, suspicion turned toward three teenagers, Damien Echols, Jason Baldwin, and Jessie Misskelley. The three were outsiders, poor, into heavy metal music, and Damien especially was fascinated with occult themes. In the fearful atmosphere of the early 90s, satanic panic, that was enough to paint a target on their backs. The most damning evidence against them came from Jessie Misskelley. After hours of intense questioning, Jessie, who had an intellectual disability, gave a confession describing how he and the others committed the murders. But there was a problem. His story was full of contradictions, timelines that didn't match, and details that didn't fit the crime scene. Despite the shaky evidence, prosecutors pushed forward. In 1994, all three were convicted. Jessie and Jason received life sentences, and Damien Echols was sentenced to death. But doubts about the case never went away. Forensic experts, celebrities, and documentarians began investigating. Over time, it became clear that the original trial had been deeply flawed. No physical evidence tied the boys to the murders. Jessie's confession was coerced, and alternative suspects had never been properly investigated. Years later, advances in DNA testing provided new hope. Testing showed that none of the DNA at the scene matched Damien, Jason, or Jessie. Instead, hair found in the bindings of one victim was consistent with Terry Hobbs, the stepfather of one of the boys. In 2011, after 18 years behind bars, the West Memphis Three were released through an Alford plea, a rare legal maneuver where they maintained their innocence but admitted the state had enough evidence to convict them. They walked free, but the murders of the three children remain officially unsolved. The case still divides opinion. Were the West Memphis Three wrongfully convicted victims of hysteria, or did justice let real killers walk free? If you want to hear more chilling true crime stories, don't forget to subscribe.